Here we are, Port Richmond. Yelma, he's walking Rick the puppy. I thought Rick was going to piss on that mattress. Look at this, Rick. It's Santa Claus. And a wacky inflatable arm guy here in Port Richmond. That way yonder, about a mile or so, is Kensington Avenue. Oh, hello, friend. Listen, don't kill me or Rick the puppy. Thank you. We're going for a walk. I do the Yelmas. I did that. How you doing? Me? Doing all right. I bought my shoes for the winter, Rick the puppy, and I feel like they're almost Uggish. Oh, you're making me spin around. A lot of people will comment about my movements when I walk Rick the puppy. People are like, why did he turn there? Why did he look that way? Odds are, the pit bull, he pulls me. He makes me, go. he makes me a bad cameraman. Oh no, destruction, Rick the puppy. Oh, breaking news! The Ashley Furniture World Tour continues this Saturday, November 1st. Tell them about it, Buster.
Meet Brandon Graham in his first public appearance since unretiring. Also, Jihad Campbell and Jahan Dotson, all from the Birds, will be in attendance. Ben Salem, Ashley Home Store, November 1st with Q102.
My city in ruin. And today we're going to walk around Port Richmond, my old neighborhood. This is an old warehouse. Oh, I did a tour about a year ago of this neighborhood, and part of the tour was this. You can see the H stood for a last name, and they owned the warehouse, and the H was the company. We'll just say Harrison. I think it was something like that, Harrison. And you see the handshake. Harrison's word was as good as his handshake, and he had a factory here. It's now the no-kill car shelter. And this is okay. Well, they always have something cool outside, and today this is the cool car outside the no-kill. Oh, actually, this car is really cool. I went from you see it this way, you're like, okay, it's fine, but then you see it's a pickup truck. That's pretty cool. We're not doing poop bags yet. That will be coming up very soon. It's always in the beginning part of the walk where Rick decides, you know what? I'm gonna take a dump. Like clockwork, I knew it was happening. Turned the camera off. This is my old church, Nativity BVM. Madison and Miller. This was the spot of the old parking lot for Nativity BVM. I think the school right here is the school I went to. What are you doing, Rick the puppy? Keep walking. Matter of fact, we had an appointment right here with Miss Tobin. My mom, me and Miss Tobin. We had Miss Tobin was saying I was a slob to my mom. He handed in homework and it looked like he spilled macaroni and cheese on it. My mom's like, listen, I have 27 kids. I have 27 kids. I don't know what he's doing. Just he's trying. That's not what she said. But he's pulling. Here's a dog there. There's pigeons here. This is the Port Richmond Veterans Memorial Garden. They did a tribute this weekend to honor John McVeigh, who he was killed in action back in World War II. There was a playground in Kensington named after Mr. McVeigh, Sergeant McVeigh. He had the Medal of Honor was given to him. Wow, look at this. So this is my old Over there is my old. Over there, that's my old grade school. I went to. Oh Jesus! That's my arm. Rick just ripped out on my shoulder. Take two. Over there, that's the grade school I went to from like kindergarten to 3rd grade, I think. That's Nativity BVM. And then right here is the old convent to Nativity BVM. Nativity is a Catholic grade school. And there was a few nuns. Oh, actually, you know what? The principal of the school, Sister Dennis. Nuns have men's names. Sometimes they're named after saints. Well, anyway, the nuns lived here in this building. And it looks like they're gutting the entire old property. At one time, I believe this building was Nativity BVM School. And then I think Nativity was the Irish school of the neighborhood, because there's the German church, the Polish church, the church and school. And then I went here, and I'm Irish. So I'm just thinking this is, although I did go to school with some Italian people. Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyway, the churches were segregated pretty much by nationality. They would say, no, I think they would always say Mass in Latin up until 1966. When Latin II, or not Latin II, what's it called? Not Conclave II, Vatican II. That's where my 1st grade classroom was. And then right here was the lunchroom. We would have our grade school dances, our 6th grade school dances. And then right here was the stage where I performed in the lip syncing contest. Came in 2nd place. Very exciting. Yeah, the clocks go back on Saturday night. And the temperature has already dropped. I'm wearing 2 hoodies today. That's I don't wear jackets. I just add hoodies on top of hoodies. I don't like wearing jackets. They're too much. And if you go indoors, you have to take them off and carry them. But if you have multiple hoodies, you just take one hoodie off. It's fine. It took me many years to figure it out. Most you ever need is 2 hoodies. Then you could just add like a flannel shirt if it's super cold. Okay, that's enough of my right here. It's Our Lady of Port Richmond. It's the old St. Adalbert's Church. It was the old Polish church of Port Richmond. Now everybody goes here because they got a little library. What they got? Oh, they got a bunch of little kid books. This is the Polish church. So anyway, back in the early 1900s, the Catholic Church, they were building a church for every nationality in every neighborhood. So there would be an Italian church, a Polish church, a German church, a Irish church. You got it, right? But then people stopped going to church. That's what happened. People stopped going to church, and then people have to go to church. So what they do is they start closing down. I'm not 100% sure, but I think church is said every Sunday at this church, at the St. Adalbert's Church. Pope John Paul, he said Mass here back in the 80s. Anyway, there's other churches on this street. You have the different nationalities. You have the Nativity BVM, the Irish church. That's not open every weekend. And then the German church, which has the very pointy steeple on that side. That church closed over a decade ago, I think. Matter of fact, if you go inside Nativity BVM, you can see some of the old statues that used to be inside St. Our Lady Help of Christians, which is the name of the church right there. Where do you want to go, Rick the puppy? I guess I got to talk about it, right? Listen, I don't do good this time of year. I don't know about you. It's tough for me to get out of bed right now. I make myself get out of bed. I battle depression. And I get the seasonal depression real bad. And I had plans today. I was going to wake up, get dressed, go check out the new museum, the Calder Museum. And I woke up today and I was like, it feels cold outside. I didn't even go outside. I just said it feels cold outside. So I decided to lay in bed till 2. I thought I was going to make a mall video. I was going to go to the Morristown Mall. Because we're getting to that time of year. And thank God for the mall videos, because they really help me in the winter. I know some people don't like the mall videos. Some people just watch the mall videos. So, in the winter, in this time of year, right before Christmas, I definitely feel like when the leaves start falling off the trees, I lose a little bit of my energy. And also it gets dark at like 5:30. Right here is the Polish Eagles Sports Club. So I make myself go out, because honestly what I want to do today is just lay in bed all day. And that's not good. So I want to thank you for watching. So look at this. We're in Port Richmond. There's not that much leaf garland in Port Richmond as there is in Bridesburg, but it's a pretty hefty amount in some areas. And then right here, look at this, Rick the puppy. They got more skeletons than you can shake a stick at. Wow. Oh no. Yeah. Oh no, that guy's on that guy's shoulders. And I'm filming this on Wednesday at 2:30 in the afternoon. Now the city announced that they have this new, I don't know, police litter trash task force. They have a new police and litter task force. And their job is to, make sure, they're going to follow up on illegal dumping. That's what they're going to try to do. And if you put your trash out too early, they're going to write a ticket for you. And I made a mistake one night when I got home from a Phillies game. I thought it was Thursday night, and it was actually Wednesday night. So I put the trash to my curb, and I didn't think anything of it. And then the next day, I woke up, and I didn't go out front till around 11:30, and we had a ticket, and you can't fight it. I was 100% in the wrong, and then it's just a dumb mistake. You make mistakes. You ever make a mistake? But, so I do know they're going around writing tickets. So I thought about the guy who was like, well, I'm going down the shore, right? So what do you do if you're going down the shore for a week and you don't know your next door neighbors, or you don't have a next door neighbor to throw out your trash? What do? Do you just let it sit for a week in the sun? The Uggs, you can't wear the Uggs when it's above 55 degrees, Rick the puppy. My feet are sweating. Good gravy. Oh, there it is, the Port Richmond Library. So, that's something that they're doing now. They're also going to, like I said, they're going to start going after illegal dumping. Who knows? Who knows if that's going to be a thing. 2557 Indiana Avenue. It's for sale. Let me know how much it's going for. This is the spot. There's a haunted church on this property many years ago. Yeah. I used to trick or treat in this neighborhood. I lived right down the street as a kid. And we would trick or treat at this house. And the lady was a real estate agent. And she would tape a quarter to her business card every Halloween. That's what she would do for Halloween. And back then, a quarter, that was a video game or a bag of chips. Yeah, the old neighborhood is changing, Rick the puppy. Look at that. Used to be garages here. Developer bought the property. There was probably, I don't know, like 20 garages in that little space. And I guess whoever owned the garages sold that property. And now they're developing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 10 houses in that space. This is the old Hole in the Wall Cafe. Had good crab cake sandwiches. Growing up, I lived on this street. This is Gall Street. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, they have 10 houses. They have 10 houses here. They probably sold the houses for, I would say $300,000. Tell me. 3009 Gall Street. What's it going for? 3005 Gall Street. What's it going for? That's crazy. It's just like, oh, they're starting at 49. Oh my God, they're $500,000. Holy shit. Rick the puppy. Ooh, watch out for that railing, or that brick wall you walked into. Right here, this is the old Aunt T and Me Deli. Before it was the Aunt T and Me Deli, it was Paul's grocery store. Aunt T and Me was here for a long time. And back right before 2001, I was getting ready to buy a house. And I almost bought this store. It was going to be the store and the apartment above it. And that was going to be $100,000. The two ladies who owned it, what they wanted. And I like I said, I worked here as a kid. So back in 2000, I was really in the radio. And at that time, Howard Stern, Don and Mike, and Opie and Anthony were on 94 WYSP. So I was like, oh my God, I could own a deli, listen to the radio all day, and that would be my job. And then within like 2 months of me having this conversation, Opie and Anthony was fired. But yeah, I almost bought this place. This was a water ice window. They opened this up in the early 90s. I worked here at Aunt T. I think I made $2 an hour. But I got free food and soda. Like I get a free sandwich every shift. And it was pretty I got fired there 3 times. I wasn't a very good employee. But yeah, so I was going to get this whole place for $100,000, and now they're selling property on the same block for $500,000. And one of the reasons why I chose, in 2000, when I finally did buy a house, I chose Bridesburg over Port Richmond, is basically the parking. 2508 Indiana Avenue. What's it going for? I have no idea. I have no idea what anything goes for anymore. I have no, if they're going for $500,000, what are the old houses going for? 300? No, Rick, don't pee in the decorations. 300,000? Good grief. The leprechaun sign at Gall and Ann, painted over. Yeah, this is Cahawk's Playground. It's been under construction for, I feel like a year or so. And the dirt in this field, I think, had some lead contamination, and every playground in this neighborhood had a little bit of lead in it. And so every time they clean up a playground, they cleaned up this playground. They cleaned up Samuel's playground. Look at these people. These people don't believe in poop bags. Wow, what a bunch of jerk-offs. Here we are, the Port Richmond Tigers. Look at this. Oh, it's open, Rick the puppy. The old Tigers headquarters. There it is, shot out to the 24-hour barbecue crew. Oh, I don't know if my friend John's seen this, but I think here it is, the Port Richmond. Oh, it's like an ice box in there. All right, going down Cedar Street. This was last time I vlogged down here. There was a big police chase that ended, I think, in one of these buildings. And it wasn't because the guy lived here. The guy was running away from cops. He just ran into a house. Back when I was growing up, this little parking garage, and this is what those new houses that are going for $500,000, this is what used to be. Their garage is identical to this. The only thing different to this one is it has the American flag on there. And there used to be horses that lived back here. There used to be stables. I don't think... Yeah, I don't know if horses still live here. But yeah, but it used to be stables here. And I think there was a guy who had a horse that he parked here, and he would drive around the neighborhood in the horse and buggy, and he would sell produce. I think they're called hawkers? What are those guys called? Like, red tomatoes, I got red tomatoes, 3 pounds, $2. Bananas. Also growing up at Port Richmond, there was a kid who sold soft pretzels. But which one's for sale? I'm going to say it's 3009. How much is 3009 Cedar Street going for? I can't believe how much people are paying to move into Port Richmond. $500,000. What are you doing? Here's some more of the old garages. Back when I was a kid, I was a young adventure seeker. And one of the things we would do is we would climb up roofs. And we would climb up these roofs. There was like a little alleyway. And you could catwalk up the alleyway. And you could climb on these roofs. And then there was a way to get on the bigger roofs. Oh, we were... Wow. I don't know how we did it, but we did it. Roof climbing. Wouldn't do that now. I wasn't riddled with anxiety when I was 11. Yeah, so growing up in Port Richmond, one of the things I remember, you would have a guy who would go up and down the streets, and I think he had a wagon, and he would sell fresh pretzels. And he would say, "Fresh pretzels." Alrighty, somebody just did it with me. And then there would be another kid who would go, "Fresh, fresh." And I think the fresh kid lived somewhere around here. He'd just yell fresh. I can't believe somebody did the already. They would also sell pretzels on the corners at some locations, like on probably near the shops on Aramingo Avenue. They would probably have a guy standing on the corner. A lot of the corner stores here would sell pretzels. That's something weird. Pretzels are a really great go-to. Like if you need, like just something to hold you over for 2 hours, you just grab a pretzel. And then you go other places, like Florida, and you're like, what the hell what's your go-to? And it's like little Debbie snacks cakes. Like, ugh. This used to be Pete's convenience store. Yeah, I think last time I vlogged down here, I realized every store in the neighborhood from my childhood is now closed except for Pete's. Not Pete's. Ray the barber. Everything else is closed. I mean, this is Jordy and Jordal's grocery store. It's not Pete's. Man, look at the Halloween decorations. Oh, they got people sitting on the porch. You can't judge them when they're sitting on the porch. Oh, Clearfield Street looking pretty good for the Halloween stuff. This is the old Perry's Pizza, which just closed recently, or a year ago. Perry, he was here since 1975, and yeah, he closed. You know, you get up there. I think that's the big thing is there's nobody to pay. Wow, look at the new steps at the new Perry's. There it is. Voted best pizza and cheesesteak by Star Readers. That's a local neighborhood newspaper. Oh, the coolers are going. Oh, the coolers are still in there. You can still see inside. Hold on. You can still see the coolers in Perry's. Nobody's gotten their mail in a while. But the steps, these are new. I saw them working on these recently. Yeah, Perry, he owned this pizza restaurant. Sometime in the 80s, he was trying to make it like a fancy restaurant upstairs. Across the street was American Video. It was a video store. And then all the video stores at Port Richmond are closed, like most neighborhoods. I think there's one video store in the neighborhood, which is like 11th and Walnut. Yeah, the neighborhood's the actual name of the neighborhood. I'm not being like a jerk. Oh, all right. Definitely not too hoodie day. Definitely not. Can't wear these shoes outside when it's above 50. We got another house for, man, a lot of houses for sale in Port Richmond. 3160 Aramingo Avenue. How much is it going for? Let me know. This guy went to Spirit Halloween and said, yeah, let me take one of everyone. Oh. I thought that was a real person for a second. Wow. Okay, well, I'm going to hide then, cuz. I often wonder when I go to Spirit Halloween, I go, yeah, who buys these things? Oh, these guys here, these remind me of the vintage Halloween mask. Remember back in the day, you would get your Halloween mask in a box, and you would have like a plastic outfit you would wear. You would be the Wolfman, and you would have a Wolfman mask in a vinyl outfit. And the plastic from the mask would dig into your eye sockets. And it's kind of like Christ wearing his crown of thorns. You ever see that? Like, that's what you look like after you wear the werewolf mask on Halloween. All right, we're at Aramingo and Allegheny. Let's go. Crossing the street. What used to be the old Stephen's Pet Shop. Uh-oh. Who's on? Who's honking? Oh, hello, friend. Here we are. Hello. Good to see you. I appreciate that. Yeah, let's go indeed, friend. Let's go indeed. And we're back at the German church, which is now another type of church. I don't know if they're doing church inside the German church, but they're definitely fixing up the German church, Our Lady Help of Christians. Oh, we go this way, Rick the puppy. And there it is. That's the old casket company, Atlas Casket Company. It's now, everything's condos on. You know why? I realized this the other day. Retail's dying, right? Retail's dead. Jeff Bezos, he owns it all, right? You can't. So, the only thing people are actually buying of significance, well, there's two things. Cars and houses So a lot of people are buying real estate because, you know, retail's dead. All right, we're going to wrap this video up at the very controversial parking lot here in Port Richmond, where the wacky waving inflatable arm guy mocks Santa Claus behind his back. And if you want to go to CrossFit Renaissance, you're allowed to move a cone. But if you're not going there, don't move the cone. Park somewhere else. I'll tell you what I do. I park across the street. I just don't like it. There's too much happening here, and I don't want my I don't want my car towed. And they don't have a phone number of a towing company, which makes me wonder if that's illegal. Like, how can you threaten me with a tow without me knowing where my car is? A lot of shadiness here. Just in the parking lot. And maybe it's not shadiness. Maybe that's the wrong term. Maybe it's very uncomfortable. It makes me worry. And that's one of the reasons why I'll give you one of my Philly Captain tips. Whenever I go somewhere, and if I can park in a parking lot, I always park in a parking lot than the street, because the parking authority really has no control whatsoever in these parking lots, nor do police. Now, you can get in trouble for staying here way too long, but if you park when you're a Planet Fitness or a supermarket, you're fine. All right, listen, I do cameos. I have merchandise, not just t-shirts. I got hoodies. I got baseball caps. I got Rick the Puppy shit. Not shit, like teddy bears. Here we are. So you can get that. And then, come here, Rick the Puppy. And Patreon. Go Birds. I'm signing the postcards tonight.